I'm Susan, and I want to share with you the very encouraging news of my health turnaround in just 7 months. You see, I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes on September 29th, 2021. And was I ever shocked? I was speechless when I heard the diagnosis because I thought I took care of myself and my weight was 117 pounds when I was diagnosed. Like many people, I didn't know that I had diabetes. The research states that in Canada, 5.7 million people are living with diabetes. And in Trinidad and Tobago, my nation of birth, 12.7% of the population has diabetes. This epidemic is hugely concerning. I grew up on the island of Trinidad with sun, sand, and popular street food doubles. Now, if you are not familiar with doubles, it is a food from our Indian heritage and is made of 2 flatbreads known as bara and filled with curried chickpeas, and that chickpeas we call chana. So doubles is a bara and chana sandwich. And you can add various hot peppers and other delicious sauces and toppings on it. So if you ever visit Trinidad, be sure to taste doubles. And isn't that picture just mouth-watering? Anyway, I also ate roti, a kind of tortilla, and vegetables, rice, beans of various kinds, root food like potatoes and yam, along with fish, poultry, goat, and beef, to name a few of the staples. Of course, I ate sweet desserts and delicacies as well, but no matter how much I ate, I could not put on weight. In fact, I was underweight for most of my life there in Trinidad. I weighed a whopping 68 pounds while I was at university, even though I was eating Nestle cream mixed with sugar in an effort to gain weight. And actually, I was 26 years old when I was finally able to weigh 82 pounds. I loved running and became an avid runner in my early adult years. In fact, I entered a race in Toronto in 1994 in that picture there. So I thought I was doing well in terms of my eating, exercising, and weight. Research reveals that a huge number of people who have type 2 diabetes don't know that they have it. Several sources say that about 1/3 of the people who have diabetes type 2 don't even know that they have it because they don't recognize the symptoms. And that was me. I had symptoms but didn't know what they pointed to. So fast forward to 2018 when I took a trip to Trinidad. I ate preserved mango, tamarind balls, tempting snacks, and lots of roti made from white flour. It was heaven until the night I couldn't stop throwing up. Riddled with nausea, my brother took me to a private hospital there. I thought it might have been food poisoning, but no one else who ate got sick except me. And the thing was, I had helped to cook the food that day. Now, all of this is in retrospect as I try to figure out what triggered the diabetes. I noticed some bruising and burning and bumps on my skin, but I passed them off as allergies. And back then, I weighed 114 pounds in 2018. The next year, I changed glasses, thinking that it was the reason for my blurry vision. In 2020, I was still not feeling like myself, but who doesn't feel off now and then, right? I had stopped eating white flour and white rice and sugar, except for the trip to Trinidad a few years before. But while traveling, I bought an egg sandwich, which was made from white bread. And not long after eating that, I was retching like there'd be no tomorrow. The nausea was indescribable. In 2021, I was dramatically worse. The TV was all blurry. There were the unexplainable bumps and bruises on my skin, which I shrugged off as allergies and kept taking Benadryl and applying topical ointment. Other symptoms were difficulty concentrating. My breathing was labored and I was often short of breath. I was often constipated as well. I felt fearful, especially of driving, and I wanted someone to be at home with me all times. I was totally overwhelmed and I made poor judgments during that time. I felt out of control of my life and my health, and I was easily tired, drained of energy very, very quickly. But I was fairly active. I drank a lot of water, but still in a sudden I'd lose my energy and feel claustrophobic, and I knew something wasn't right. In August of 2021, I was on my way to church, and when the nausea and the headache caused me to turn back from the foyer of the church. The next week I went again, and on the way back while driving I was so sick. Without warning, my stomach spewed on the dashboard and on my clothes, pulled on the side of the road and waited. I knew something was terribly, horribly wrong. I made an appointment with my doctor. We decided to check my blood work, focusing on the constipation, which was a big symptom. He tested for colon blockage and a host of other tests and checks. But the shock was the diagnosis of severe high blood sugar, type 2 diabetes. My blood sugar was advanced with an A1C level of 13.2. When the reference range, as you see there, is 4.0 to 5.9. I was way, way, way above this. We didn't take a fasting blood test, but using the conversion tool on the internet, this approximates to 18.7. My weight that day was 117 pounds. My reaction was twofold. I was relieved to know that there was no need for a colonoscopy, but I was spaced out as he explained diabetes and its chronic nature. And while type 2 diabetes is largely lifestyle oriented, my doctor explained that my people group with roots in South Asia, my great-grandparents are from India, they have a propensity towards diabetes, and hence there was a genetic factor there. He told me that diabetes could be managed with medication and lifestyle changes. And right then and there, I turned down the medication option. I wanted to try lifestyle changes and help myself. I did a lot of research on the internet. I took a health course. I removed sugar and processed carbs from my diet. I amped up my fruit and veggies intake and proteins, and I walked for exercise. And I checked my blood sugar glucose with a sensor that I wear on my arm here. I scan it like this. And one area that concerned me was the stress factor, the emotional and psychological effects on diabetes, and how this and the physical symptoms really interrupted the responsible, efficient person that I knew myself to be. Sugar in the cells and in the blood. The blood runs from the head to the toe. Therefore, sugar overload touches every organ of my body, my brain, my skin with its bumps and bruises. Every part of me was affected. Mind, body, even spirit. In the USA, 170.5 million people either have diabetes, are pre-diabetic, or have not been diagnosed, the research says. So here's what I did to turn around type 2 diabetes in 7 months. First, I was very active in ridding diabetes and started the same day of September 29th, 2021. 3 months later, in December, when I took my test, my A1C level was down to 7.8 and my fasting blood sugar was 6.5. And 6.5 in our Canadian standard is pre-diabetes. dramatic improvement. Praise God. The second thing I did is that I educated myself through online courses as well as reading on various health websites. Third, I had a team. My wonderful doctor, the dietitian, and my most supportive, encouraging husband. Nobody else knew of my diagnosis. Not my friends, not my family, not employer, not even the cats. Although I told the cats a bit later. The fourth thing I did is that I changed my eating habits and the actual food I ate. I reduced my portion size so that blood sugar would not spike, since larger meals are prone to spiking glucose. And I ate more frequently, maybe every 3 hours or so that my blood sugar was leveled out. The fifth thing I did is that I recorded and measured my blood sugar level using the sensor, and I tracked this in a notebook. Every meal, every day. I would like to encourage anyone to test for diabetes. It's a simple blood test to take, and the knowledge gained can empower the person. Often people are afraid to get a diagnosis, and so I want to help dispel the fear by breaking my silence and talking about it. Because if you can get educated, you can take the steps to improve your overall health and decrease the risk and complications that are associated with type 2 diabetes. So in closing, my faith, prayer life, portion control, low carbs, more fruits and veggies, more protein, and exercise, really walking, were the key factors in the success of turning around type 2 diabetes without the use of medication in 7 months. April 2022, I was out of diabetes. My A1C level was 6.4 pre-diabetic, and my fasting blood sugar was normal at 5.7. My weight was 97 pounds on that day. Yes, I had lost a lot of weight actually. My lowest weight went to 95 pounds, so I lost 22 pounds in my quest to change lifestyle, eating, and portion control, and how I ate. And I've had a problem of being underweight all my life, so I'm comfortable with it. I really am comfortable 99 pounds or 110 pounds because I've lived most of my life being that size. I praise God for His healing power in this turnaround of type 2 diabetes. I know that if I stop paying attention to what I eat, that diabetes can return. So I play the most important part in my healing, in keeping my healing. And so I must be a good steward of my body. And I thank God for keeping me and for the miracle of bringing down my blood sugar level to normal in 7 months. And what God can do for me, He can do for anyone.